Fornication is one of the bases of witchcraft. Okay? But anyway, the blade and the chalice. At the bottom of the Louvre Museum in France, this was in the Da Vinci Code, you have this upside-down pyramid pointing down, and you have this other pyramid, a lesser pyramid, pointing up. They're trying to touch each other. Notice that the upside-down pyramid has all these little star figures on it. That's heaven trying to join and connect with earth. You're seeing here the representation of the fourth kingdom. Here it is in the Da Vinci Code from Dan Brown. He put forth the idea that this image that Da Vinci drew of the Last Supper, the person sitting on Jesus' right hand, is not John the divine, it's Mary Magdalene, a woman. If you look at it, it's a woman. And notice that the space between them is a chalice space. And Christ makes the blade. So it's the masculine joining together with the feminine. Let me say it like this. The Son of God joining together with His harlot bride. Or let me say it like this. The sons of God and the daughters of men together. And I mentioned, if you go back and look at this graphic here, between Jesus and Mary Magdalene, I mentioned it as the space between us.
And this is the Masonic building here on Worship Boulevard. If you've noticed, all these symbols, symbolic symbols.
Do you know there was a movie that came out last year called The Space Between Us? You know what it was about? It's about an American astronaut woman who goes to the mission on Mars, builds a colony there, but she doesn't realize that she got pregnant before she left. She gives birth to a man-child on Mars and dies. And so this boy is born in outer space. And he falls in love with a girl on the earth, and he's chatting with her. And the whole point of the movie, The Space Between Us, is that he's on Mars, she's on Earth. He wants to go to the Earth to be with her, and does. And you know what happens after that? Once they get together, he brings her up to his place in the heavens. Da, da, da. You go watch it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Because you'll see, and you may see more stuff that I didn't see in there. But I'm telling you, that's what that's all about. That's the fourth kingdom. The four elements coming together. The sons of God, daughters of men. They shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. But it's done so to produce the fifth element, ether. Okay? There it is. Genesis 6:4. Sons of God, daughters of men. They bear children to them. They shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. That's what these symbols represent. There was a movie called The Fifth Element. Okay? The fifth element just happens to be the Savior of the world. Revelation 6. I want you to notice something. Revelation 6, you have the opening of the seals of the book, the unsealed book. Jesus is opening the seals. The first three seals, three horsemen come out, horses and their riders. They represent various things. The fourth one, in the Bible, anytime you see the fourth thing, the fourth one, it almost always is going to be different than the other three. And in this case, when the fourth seal is opened, the fourth horse is different than the other three in that the fourth horse has brought with him an extra rider. Let's look at it. When they had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a pale horse. And his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. How do they kill the fourth part of the earth? Sword, hunger, death, beasts. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your fourth kingdom. The fourth horseman that comes out is death. Think about it. And when the fourth one finally comes out, when the first 4 seals are open and the fourth horse comes out, which is death, it brings in another spirit into this world, and it is hell herself. She's in the movie The Fifth Element. The fifth element was rendered as a woman, a red-headed Shekinah woman who had special powers. Okay? So you're starting to get it, right? When the 4 come together, the 5th one is released. And in this case, it's the kingdom, not the kingdom of heaven. It's the kingdom of hell. Hell is released on this earth, and it's hell's kingdom. Look at the beast. Revelation 13, I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. He rose up out of the sea. Upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was, number 1, like unto a leopard. Number 2, his feet were as the feet of a bear. Number 3, his mouth is the mouth of a lion. Number 4, the dragon gave him his power, his seat, and great authority. Do you see who the beast is? He is the conglomeration of 4 different things. Leopard, bear, lion, dragon. Earth, air, fire, water. The beast and his kingdom is that 5th element. It is that capstone. And this is all brought about by witchcraft. And remember back in Daniel, we saw the working, the 2 kingdoms at war with each other. The wise men, the astrologers, the magicians, and the Chaldeans. And then you have Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah. It could be said, there's no doubt in my mind, that these 4 on God's side represent the 4 Gospels. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. People, let me just say this. Don't be afraid of witches and warlocks and wizards. And there really are people who practice these. Don't be afraid of them. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Do we not have power given to us by God? Is not God our strength and our shield? Is not the Word of God our protector? They can't put a curse on you. Devils can't enter into you and take you over. They can harass you, and they will. They do it to me all the time. But they can't control you. They want you to think they can. But folks, because of the gospel and what Jesus did on the cross, you have power over this. God's power in your life manifesting through you.
Right in front of me, I have a book with a funny-looking robotic creature on the cover. Drones, artificial intelligence, and the coming human annihilation.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Something to think about.
Yeah.
Now, where should we begin on this? Because I think there's a general consciousness today. People are vaguely afraid of what they see happening. Where in the world is this all going?
Yeah, well, if you stick to the Bible, you'll find out where it's going. And frankly, it's going to get way worse before it ever gets better, before Jesus comes back at the end of the 7-year tribulation. And of course, Jesus himself said of the 7-year tribulation, it's going to be the worst time in the history of mankind, so horrible that unless God kept it to that time frame, basically the entire human race would be destroyed.
check this video out here. You will find it absolutely amazing. If you don't think this is a managed agenda, you need to check it from a neck up, because it is a managed agenda. Why is it that all these talking heads on all these local news stations all over the country have the same script? They follow the same script. No one's making any news. Journalism is dead. We live in a Soviet era type managed agenda. But just watch this video, and I think you'll see what I'm talking about here.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about troubling, irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 Can you believe this?
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 I mean, what do we do with that? So here's the blog. I mean, I'm sitting here goofing on it and laughing, but I mean, this is like Soviet era type deep state mind control, slush. It's beyond the pale. 2018. This is Orwellian. This is a threat to our democracy. This is a threat to our democracy. Okay. Chuck Missler stated decades ago that we live in a managed agenda. Say it isn't so. Watch the clip, which we just did. Pass it on the link to your friends. Folks, make this thing go viral. I didn't compile this. It's somebody else's YouTube channel. And, the bully for the guy who did this, it's absolutely incredible. People need to see this to understand that we live in a managed agenda. It's 1984. We live in an Orwellian nightmare where we are told what to think. Remember, all of these talking heads are reading from a teleprompter. They are not creating or researching any of the stories they are reporting on. They are reading from a script, and from the video it appears they all have the same script. Oh gee, what gave it away? The news, we can't really call it that, is a controlled Soviet-style form of groupthink and propaganda. Those who use the managed agenda, i.e. the liberal media, and the deep state, as well as Soros-funded groups, seek to eliminate all conservative voices.
Pokażę, że to jest naprawdę cienka lektura. O, już dochodzę, proszę chwileczkę. Pokażę wam, jak naprawdę to jest króciutka rzecz, ta Księga Apokalipsy, nie? To jest
to potwierdzam.
20 stron Nowego Testamentu i to takich małych. Także jak ktoś nie ma, to wysyłamy oczywiście bezpłatnie, płacisz tylko za koszt wysyłki.
Jak ktoś chce, można dorzucić do tego Księgę Daniela, która jest jeszcze cieńsza.
O tam, nie wiem,
z kilka rozdziałów na ten temat.
11 czy coś takiego.
12 rozdziałów
12,
w sumie,
no.
ale...
Także naprawdę niewielka lektura, a treść ciężka. I to my tak się śmiejemy z tego, że kiedyś, jeszcze 30 lat temu, kiedy mówiliśmy o apokalipsie, to się ludzie tak pukali w głowę, a teraz to wszystko, co myśmy mówili 30 lat temu, to można w newsach przeczytać, że już cię będą na czole tatuować, że już elektrody, że już będą ci stymulować mięśnie, a co więksi cwaniacy, bo są tacy, którzy, jest jakiś taki profesor Uniwersytetu Żydowskiego tam w Jerozolimie, który tam jest takim sławnym lewackim właśnie myślicielem. No myślicielem to używam, wiecie, w cudzym słowie, no ale tak o nim piszą, no to i tak powiem. No on już wręcz uważa, że kolejnym procesem ewolucji to będzie podłączenie człowieka do sieci. I on to całkiem poważnie, ludzie za to dają pieniądze za te jego książki i tam go uważają za wielkiego guru i tak dalej. On mówi, no on właśnie dokładnie mówi, że teraz ten chip, o którym tu mówimy, który na razie ma stymulować mięśnie, ma już stymulować mózg i proste i koniec. No
przecież to,
i koniec.
Moi drodzy, to już jest pierwszy krok w tym kierunku wykonany. Dość wyjść na ulicę, to widzicie młodych ludzi, ciemne okulary, słuchawki w uszach,
wyłączony.
Tabliczka czekolady. Wczoraj 2 takich mało nie rozjechałem na przejściu. To tacy ludzie zombie.
Już podłączeni, tak.
Trzeba już dalej z tym iść.
Ale idą. Ale idą.
I jeszcze nie wszyscy z tymi tabliczkami tak chodzą.
No niestety, ja widzę, że to jest jakaś choroba już społeczna.
Jeszcze są tacy, co patrzą dookoła.
Co więksi jeszcze ryzykanci robią to jadąc rowerem.
Tak, to widziałem też. Jeden przyładował, kiedyś widziałem taki, jechał jeden i stał ten kosz na śmiecie, taki betonowy, jak w Lublinie są. Jak przyładował, tak, tam spadł na chodnik gdzieś.
I odłączony od sieci.
No chwilę tam, ale się otrzepał, wstał, nie? I
działał dalej.
Sprawdził, czy działa.
Działał dalej.
have logged into the webcast. That's incredible.
But of course, the Lakeland movement was also loaded with the same bizarre manifestations as we've seen elsewhere.
A little bit of that glory's coming on me. And we have an international television audience tonight. And I got that vibrating again. Lord, let everybody vibrate.
So what were some of Todd Bentley's biggest influences? Well, he tells us himself.
But one outpouring that's most precious to me, because it brought intimacy in the presence of God to the church. It brought refreshing and renewal to the church, was what took place in Toronto, Canada. And I got that vibrating again. Lord, let everybody vibrate.